Hello and welcome to OutsideSource. Today we're tackling those pesky common mistakes students make throughout the academic year, and I'll be giving you some useful tips to avoid them. Whether you're a first-year student or a senior about to graduate, understanding these pitfalls can really help you succeed and thrive in your academic life. We'll cover topics like time management, study strategies, and balancing social life and academics. So grab a pen and paper and let's get started. This guide is packed with practical advice to help you make the most of your academic journey. Some things to avoid during a new academic year include procrastination, neglecting self-care, and neglecting studying. It's important to plan and prioritize assignments and start them early, as well as making time for exercise and relaxation to prevent burnout. Additionally, it's important to avoid overloading oneself with too many commitments and to set realistic goals to prevent stress and this if they are not met. Moreover, it's important to avoid negative thoughts and self-talk, as well as avoiding comparing oneself to others. Instead, focusing on personal improvement and working to one's own strengths and abilities will be more productive and enjoyable. Lastly, it's important to avoid distractions such as social media or other entertainment that can take away from academic priorities. Additionally, it's important to avoid sacrificing sleep time, as sleep is essential for proper brain functioning and memory retention. Taking care of one's physical health, such as getting adequate sleep and eating healthy, will also help support academic success. It's important to avoid neglecting to seek help when needed. Whether it's academic or emotional support, reaching out to a teacher, tutor, or counselor can help with any issues that may arise during the academic year. Being aware of these things to avoid during a new academic year can help set oneself up for success. By staying organized, focused, and positive, it's possible to make the most of the new academic year and reach one's academic potential. It's also important to remember to stay kind to oneself and to be patient and understanding with oneself as the academic year progresses. Everyone makes mistakes and has moments of difficulty, and it's important to treat oneself with compassion and understanding when those moments arise, rather than judgment and criticism. It's important to avoid putting too much pressure on oneself to be perfect. Striving for excellence is important, but it's also important to recognize that perfection is not always achievable, and that failure or less than perfect results are simply opportunities to learn and grow rather than evidence of inadequacy. With these things to avoid in mind, it's possible to have a successful and fulfilling new academic year. By being aware of potential pitfalls and making a conscious effort to avoid them, it's possible to stay focused, motivated, and productive throughout the upcoming school year and make the most of the opportunities it offers. Avoiding procrastination, neglecting self-care and studying, overloading oneself with commitments and setting unrealistic goals, overindulging in negative thoughts and comparisons, neglecting sleep and physical health, neglecting to seek help when needed, and neglecting to show oneself kindness and patience will help ensure a positive and successful academic year. By being aware of these roadblocks and actively working to avoid them, it's possible to make the most of the new academic year and achieve academic success, while also prioritizing mental and physical well-being. Additionally, it's important to remember that it's normal to experience moments of difficulty or frustration during the academic year, and that it's okay to ask for help or to take a break when needed. Balancing workload with self-care and finding healthy ways to cope with stress are key to maintaining motivation and focus throughout the school year. It's important to focus on the bigger picture and remember why you're in school in the first place. Whether it's to pursue a passion, gain new knowledge or skills, or simply to improve your future prospects, keeping sight of those reasons will help keep you motivated and focused even during difficult or challenging times. Avoiding certain pitfalls and staying focused on one's larger goals can help set the stage for a productive and successful academic year. By being aware of potential roadblocks and taking proactive steps to avoid them, it's possible to achieve academic success while also prioritizing self-care and mental well-being. It's important to remember that everyone's experience and goals are unique. So finding the right balance between workload and self-care will be a personal and ongoing process. However, by staying mindful and proactive, it's possible to have a positive and fulfilling academic experience. It's important to remember to celebrate achievements and accomplishments, both big and small. Whether it's a top grade on a tough assignment or even just finishing a particularly difficult project on time, acknowledging and celebrating these successes is key to maintaining motivation and a positive attitude throughout the academic year. In the hustle and bustle of school, it can be easy to overlook the small wins and to focus only on the end goal. However, by taking the time to recognize and appreciate the little successes along the way, it's possible to stay energized and motivated even in the face of challenges. This positive outlook can also help build resilience, as it reinforces the idea that success is something that is earned and achievable, rather than something that is dependent on luck or fate. In other words, it's possible to succeed through hard work and determination, even in the face of obstacles. Staying focused on the goal and celebrating achievements can help create a positive feedback loop, where success builds on itself and helps keep motivation high. This in turn can lead to even greater success, both academically and personally, and help lay the foundation for a bright and fulfilling future. As the academic year unfolds, it's important to stay mindful and proactive when it comes to managing workload and staying motivated. Rome wasn't built in a day, and the same is true of academic success. Small, consistent efforts over time can lead to big achievements in the long run. It's important to remember that everyone experiences ups and downs throughout the academic year. It's normal to feel motivated some days and completely unmotivated on others. Rather than beating yourself up for moments of low motivation, it's important to allow yourself some grace and to trust that motivation will return eventually. Staying focused, avoiding roadblocks, celebrating achievements, and practicing self-compassion are all important elements of an academic year that is both productive and fulfilling. By staying mindful and proactive, it's possible to achieve academic success while still making time for self-care and well-being. It's also important to remember to be flexible and adaptable, as unexpected challenges or changes may arise during the year. By staying flexible and willing to adapt to changing circumstances, it's possible to stay motivated and on track even in the face of unexpected hurdles. The academic year is not just about grades. It's about gaining knowledge, developing skills, and preparing for the future. While grades are important, they shouldn't be the sole focus of the academic year. Instead, the focus should be on learning, growing, and preparing for the future, both academically and personally. This broader perspective can also help make the academic year more enjoyable and fulfilling, as it highlights the wider range of benefits that come with academic study, rather than just focusing on the more narrowly defined concept of success as good grades. By staying mindful and proactive, being flexible and adaptable, and keeping a wider perspective in mind, it's possible to have a successful and fulfilling academic year. With the right attitude and strategy, the academic year can be a time of growth, learning, and achievement. But even if the academic year doesn't go exactly to plan, it's not the end of the world. Setbacks can be overcome, and the most important thing is to keep going and to learn from any mistakes or difficult experiences. With the right mindset, anything is possible. So don't be afraid to push yourself and to strive for the stars, even if the path to get there isn't always smooth or easy. Don't be afraid to reach out to teachers, tutors, or other mentors when you're struggling with a concept or assignment. There's no shame in asking for help, and sometimes an outside perspective can make all the difference. With these things in mind, the academic year can be a time of growth, accomplishment, and fulfillment. So stay focused, stay flexible, and don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it. The academic year may be a long road, but with the right mindset and approach, it can be a journey that is both rewarding and enjoyable. The ultimate goal of the academic year is not just to get good grades, but to grow and learn as a person. So don't be afraid to take on new challenges, even if they seem daunting at first. The rewards can be great, both academically and personally. So embrace the academic year with confidence and determination, but also with the mindset of growth and learning. Stay focused on the bigger picture and don't get bogged down in the details. With the right mindset, you can make the most of the academic year and come out on top. Remember, the academic year is a marathon, not a sprint. It's a time to build upon the knowledge and skills you already have, as well as to develop new ones. So pace yourself, take breaks when you need them, and enjoy the process of learning and growing. Neglecting physical and mental health can have a significant impact on academic performance. Feeling physically unwell or mentally stressed can make it difficult to concentrate and perform at one's best. Fatigue, lack of energy, and stress can all contribute to decreased motivation, reduced focus, and poorer academic performance. Some strategies for maintaining a healthy balance between studies and personal life include 1. Setting clear boundaries and priorities for academics and personal time. 2. Scheduling regular breaks and activities that bring joy. 3. Setting realistic goals and expectations. 4. Creating a study routine and sticking to it. 5. Prioritizing sleep and self-care. 6. Asking for help and support when needed. 7. Staying organized and avoiding procrastination. Improper use of technology can hinder academic success in a few ways. Spending too much time on social media or other distractions can cause procrastination and decrease focus on studies. Additionally, access to information through technology can be both a blessing and a curse. While the internet can provide a wealth of knowledge, it can also be a source of distraction, misinformation, and a way to cheat or plagiarize. Furthermore, the overuse of technology, especially in the form of screens, can also lead to reduced focus, eye strain, and poor physical health. Some best practices for using technology productively include 1. Limiting access to distracting apps or websites during study time. 2. Using technology to supplement studies, such as by using online resources for research or practicing skills through online tutorials. 3. Utilizing digital calendars and reminders to stay organized and on track with assignments and deadlines. 4. Using productivity apps and software for tasks such as note-taking, project planning, and task management. 5. Practicing device hygiene, such as taking regular breaks from screens and minimizing harmful blue light exposure. Some common mistakes in note-taking include 1. Not paying close attention to what the teacher is saying. 2. Writing down everything word for word without summarizing or paraphrasing. 3. Taking too few or too many notes. 4. Not reviewing notes regularly or soon after class. To improve note-taking skills, students can 1. Focus on key points and concepts rather than trying to write down every word. 2. Use abbreviations, symbols, and shorthand to increase speed and efficiency. 3. Draw diagrams and mind maps to visualize information. Common misconceptions about learning include 1. That intelligence is fixed and unchangeable. 2. That one learning style, visual, auditory, kinesthetic, works for everyone. 3. That studying long is always better. 4. That it's possible to multitask effectively. Studies have shown that effective learning strategies include 1. Spaced repetition, which involves revisiting and reviewing material over time in a spaced manner. 2. Active recall, which involves trying to remember information from memory rather than simply rereading it. 3. Interleaving, which involves studying different but related topics in succession. Maintaining self-discipline can be a challenge for many students. Some common challenges include procrastination, lack of motivation, and distractions. To overcome these challenges, students can set clear goals and priorities, break tasks down into manageable chunks, use positive self-talk and affirmations, create a productive and distraction-free environment, and reward themselves for completing tasks and staying focused. They can also try to stay organized by creating to-do lists, setting reminders, and breaking big assignments into smaller, more manageable tasks. Common organizational mistakes include failing to create a system for managing tasks and assignments, not setting priorities, not setting or sticking to deadlines, and failing to break large projects down into smaller, more manageable tasks. To improve organization skills, students can try using a planner or digital productivity app to track assignments and deadlines, break larger tasks down into smaller steps, and try using techniques such as the Pomodoro technique to stay focused and on track. Additionally, it can be helpful to establish a regular routine and schedule for studying and completing assignments. Students can effectively manage multiple projects and deadlines by breaking tasks down into smaller, more manageable chunks, prioritizing tasks based on urgency and importance, creating a schedule and sticking to it, and setting reminders or alarms for important due dates. It can also be helpful to use tools such as to-do lists, task management apps, or calendar reminders to keep track of deadlines and progress. Additionally, it's important to take regular breaks and practice self-care to avoid burnout. Common mistakes in academic reading include skim reading or skimming over important details, not taking proper notes or highlighting key points, and not understanding the author's perspective or argument. To improve comprehension while reading, students can practice active reading techniques, such as asking questions before, during, and after reading, summarizing and paraphrasing information, and looking up and understanding unfamiliar words or concepts. They can also try breaking the text down into smaller chunks and taking regular breaks while reading to avoid fatigue and improve retention. Students can approach denser or difficult academic texts by first previewing the text to get an understanding of the topic, structure, and main ideas. They can also use active reading techniques such as underlining, noting down key points and questions, and summarizing the key points in their own words. Additionally, students may find it helpful to break the text down into smaller chunks and take regular breaks to review and process the information. Seeking outside help, such as notes from a classmate or a tutor, may also be beneficial in understanding difficult texts. Participating in extracurricular activities can offer numerous benefits to students. These include developing new skills and talents, building confidence and socializing with others, and gaining a sense of purpose and belonging. To choose the right activities, students should consider their interests and strengths, their schedule and availability, and any potential long-term benefits or goals they may have. It's also important for students to consider the cost of participation and the time commitment required. Common research mistakes include failing to clearly define and focus on a topic, relying too heavily on a single source, and failing to properly evaluate sources for credibility and reliability. To improve research skills, students should start by clearly defining their research question and identifying relevant sources, and then critically evaluate the sources for credibility and reliability. They can also use a variety of sources, such as books, journal articles, and other online resources, to ensure a well-rounded understanding of the topic. Additionally, students should organize and analyze their sources in a clear and organized manner, and properly cite all sources used. Common test preparation mistakes can include starting too late, not studying regularly, and focusing on memorizing information instead of understanding it. To avoid these mistakes, students should start studying early and schedule regular review sessions, practice actively by testing themselves on the material and practicing with sample questions, and focus on understanding key concepts rather than just memorizing facts. Additionally, studying in a quiet and distraction-free environment, getting enough rest, and staying hydrated can also help increase focus and retention of information. To write a well-structured research paper, students should start with a clear and focused thesis statement, followed by an introduction that provides context for the topic and previews the main points of the paper. The body paragraphs should then each focus on a single main point, supported by evidence and analysis from credible sources. The paper should conclude with a summary of the main points and a reflection on the significance of the paper. Throughout the paper, it's important to use appropriate transitions and properly cite all sources used. Finally, the paper should be revised and edited for clarity, concision, and grammar. That brings us to the end of our exploration of common academic mistakes and how to avoid them. Hopefully, you found these tips helpful and they'll serve you well in navigating your academic year. Just remember, everyone makes mistakes, and the real growth comes from learning from them. If you like this episode, hit that subscribe button and join us next time for more insights and advice. Until then, keep pushing towards your goals and make the most of your educational journey. Thanks for tuning in.